I am here today with my unpopular luxury opinions. To hear what they are and see if you agree with me, stay tuned. Hi YouTube, Autumn Beckman here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My channel is all about luxury living on a budget, from high-end luxury handbags and small goods to the everyday luxuries of life. If that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell notification icon to be notified when I post new videos, and be sure to like the videos that you enjoy. And one of the perks of subscribing to my channel is you get to see my community posts on your YouTube homepage, where I post deals, discount codes, sales, and rare finds related to these beautiful things we love. Living Luxe with Meredith here on YouTube. I will have her channel linked below in case you don't know about her yet, but I would guess most of you do. She recently did a video about this. It was her unpopular luxury opinions and decisions. And at the end of her video, she invited me to do my take on this. So that is what I'm doing now. And I want to say thank you so much, Meredith, for inviting me to do this and for the very kind words she had about me and my channel at the end of her video. Of course, that specific video will be linked right down below so you can watch it after mine. I came up with 8 things to talk about in this video, some of which are related. There's a theme with children here for some reason that kept coming up for me. And I'll give you an overview of those 8 things and then we'll jump into my opinions on them. 1 is who can have luxury. 2, dupes of luxury bags. 3, YouTubers returning bags. 4, the Balenciaga ad scandal with the children and the bears, that thing. 4, Coco Chanel and the Nazis. 5, scribbling on bags. 6, painting on bags. And 7, childish bags. Alright, number 1, who is allowed to have luxury? I feel like I have a whole video on this that I did a while back, or maybe it was something that I touched on in a mean comments video. But some people, quite a lot of people, are under the impression that only certain people should have luxury, and you have to look a certain way, especially as a woman, to have a luxury bag. And this is exemplified on YouTube channels about luxury bags, where we have people with full heavy makeup and the big fake lashes and you know the look, right? The certain hair and all the things. So that's the look. But then there's also these parameters that people make up around finances that people should have in place before they can have luxury bags. Like you have to make a certain amount of money, or you have to have a certain amount of disposable income or a certain amount in savings before you should ever even consider buying something as incredible as a luxury bag. And I think a lot of you already know how I feel about this. It's ridiculous. If you're into luxury bags, you're interested in them, there are many ways to acquire them that aren't paying full price. And of course, it doesn't matter how you look or where you come from or what's in your bank account. If you like a bag and you can acquire a bag, then get a bag. You deserve it as much as anyone else. It's okay. You having a bag is just as valid as anyone else. They're just bags. And if anyone is judgmental toward you about it, that makes a statement about them, not about you. Number 2, luxury dupes. Now, I'm not talking about fakes here. There's a difference between those. I'm not talking about bags that look exactly like and are branded exactly like an authentic bag from a certain designer. I'm talking about dupes that may look very similar or even identical or just somewhat like another bag, but they're not branded that way. And I think there are several reasons that these are okay. A lot of people are very against this. I'm not. Most of you know that about me as well. I think there are lots of reasons to have a dupe that are legitimate. One is finances. These very expensive handbags aren't affordable for a lot of people. Even when they're pre-loved and they're cheaper than the retail prices, they're still not cheap for the most part. And if you're interested in a bag like that and you can't afford the real one, getting something that is inspired by or looks very much like another bag, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Besides, the designers copy from each other all the time. The high-end designers copy from each other. The contemporary designers copy from the high-end designers. There could even be arguments said that sometimes the high-ends copy from the lower ends. Some of them have certainly released bags and other items in their collections that play on that idea. But besides the financial aspect, there's also just trying out a style for a much lower price point before you go to that higher end price point. I've made this point before with bags that look like Hermes bags, like a Kelly or a Birkin in particular. There are a lot of places where you can get one of those bags that looks like the real one, but it's only $100, $150 instead of $10,000. And I think it's very smart, if you've never laid eyes or hands on one of those $10,000 bags, to try out one of the $100 ones first to see if that style actually works for you before you drop 10 grand on one bag. Unpopular opinion number 3. There are YouTubers out there who buy bags specifically to make videos on them and then return them. They don't buy the bag with the intention of keeping it. It's only to make a video and send it back. A lot of people have a problem with this, especially when that YouTuber does that consistently. My only problem with it is the ethics behind making a purchase and returning to the business. I don't have a problem with a YouTuber whose channel is about handbags, acquiring handbags to show you and not keeping them. That's what we're here for after all, is to show you handbags. Now, I have certainly done my share of buying bags, showing them to you, and returning them. However, there have only been, I don't know, 1 or 2 times that I can think of where I have purchased it knowing that I wouldn't keep it. I've purchased bags knowing that there's a good chance I wouldn't keep it, but I purchased it thinking maybe I would. I'm not somebody who buys with the intention of returning, not because I think there's something unethical about that for YouTube videos, but only because I think there's a little ethical questioning on buying and returning as it relates to the business that you're buying and returning from. Although a lot of these big companies, they have entire departments set up around returns, so they are expecting that. Unpopular opinion number 4. This is around the Balenciaga advertisement campaign that was very scandalous recently and caused a lot of controversy, caused some people to cancel Balenciaga. Now, let me say up front, first of all, I don't care about Balenciaga anyway. I've never purchased anything from them. They've never released anything I've been interested in except the, what do they call it? It wasn't a collaboration, whatever it was with Gucci that they did last year, where Balenciaga made bags that looked like Gucci bags and Gucci made bags that looked like Balenciaga bags. And there were pieces that I liked from both collections there, but that was because I like Gucci, not because I care anything about Balenciaga. Now, the controversy with this ad campaign, if you've been living under a rock and haven't heard about this yet, it had to do with children under 10 being pictured in advertisements with teddy bear. These are teddy bear backpacks that Balenciaga's releasing. There's some new bag, and these bears are dressed in like S&M outfits. And then there was another campaign that has a Balenciaga bag, one of those hourglass bags, on a table with a bunch of paperwork, and one of those had to do with a court case relating to child pornography laws. Up front, I have not gone deep into the research here because I just don't care about Balenciaga. A lot of people have said this was promoting or condoning child abuse. I can see how people would interpret it that way. I don't interpret it that way. I don't take advertising that seriously. On the other hand, I am also someone who's very aware that when you're doing something like an ad campaign or a movie or a commercial or whatever medium you're working in, everything you see is very deliberate. This imagery did not happen by accident. And particularly when it comes to advertising from fashion houses, and we see this a lot in perfume commercials. They're just weird. You don't know what's going on. You don't know how to interpret things. And coming from an artistic background, artists, which are the people who create these things, are always pushing boundaries, especially in fashion houses like this. They're trying to get attention. They're trying to get people talking. And they certainly did that, but it backfired a bit on them. So was that imagery purposeful? Absolutely it was. Was it stupid of them to do? Absolutely it was. Someone should have anticipated the interpretation and the backlash and shut it down. But do I think that it actually promotes and condones child abuse? I don't. I don't know what they were trying to go for with it, but I don't think anybody at that level, with all the people that would have been involved in that campaign and had to approve things for that campaign, was anybody thinking, yes, we're going to create an ad that promotes child abuse and condones it. This is a good idea. No, that did not happen. There was also an ad campaign around the same time from Gucci, which is owned by the same company as Balenciaga, and this had Harry Styles, who, like, I know he's a celebrity, but I don't even know who he is. And I don't say that to put him down or minimize him. I'm saying I don't really know who he is. Is he an actor? Is he a musician? Is he both? I don't know. But he's in this campaign and he's posing with a crib bed or a toddler bed of some sort, a mattress, and people have been outraged about these images as well. I just researched that a little bit and I found this whole video that those images came from. They were part of this campaign, and there's a whole lot more to it than that. So I would guess there's more context than just this adult man in a mattress. There are also some things being said that sound more like conspiracy theories than reality, but I barely heard about that one, and it's along the same lines as the messages people are reading from the Balenciaga ad. So I don't know. I think one of my big problems here with this kind of public outrage and boycotting companies is that I don't see consistency from the people who are outraged and boycotting, because so many companies have done things that have made people very angry and they've boycotted and all this, but those companies are still in business and doing very well. Prada had something a few years ago with blackface imagery. People boycotted Prada. They're doing just fine. Maybe better than ever. I haven't seen them go out of business, so how serious are we really with this outrage? That bothers me more than fleeting advertisements. Not more than child abuse. Don't twist my words. Do you see what I'm saying? All right, number 5. Separating the art from the artist. This goes along with that. Several of these from now on are connected. So that separating that ad campaign from Balenciaga, or separating Demna, the designer for Balenciaga, from that ad campaign, or from Balenciaga, or whatever it may be. Coco Chanel has been linked to Nazis in various ways. Some people don't buy Chanel because of that. Some people are against Nazism but still buy Chanel. I think Nazis are bad. They stand for lots of bad things. Shouldn't even have to say that, but apparently in our world today you do. But in this particular case, Coco Chanel has been dead a long time. She's not getting anything from our purchases of the bags that she designed, most of which aren't even her designs anymore. What am I missing here? I'm not seeing the problem buying Chanel. It's not supporting Nazis now, right? As far as I know. Anyone know different? Can that knowledge taint your image of the brand? Sure it can. I still love Picasso paintings, but the more I've learned about him and some of his practices with women, the less respect I have for him. And when I see his work, I think about that. But I still love the art. He's also long dead. So I think the deadness is an important factor when considering whether to support a company or a person when you disagree with something they're doing. Number 6, scribbling on bags. What I'm referring to here is a lot of brands that create handbags. They'll do artist collaborations. Coach, Louis Vuitton, lots of others. And in the past many years, there have been artists that they've chosen for their bags that have created artwork that looks childish in nature, and always, inevitably, you see these comments, oh, my child could do that. I don't want a bag that looks like my child scribbled all over my bag. I can see that viewpoint, and if you don't want that, don't buy it, that's fine. My counter would be, again, as an artist, if there's a successful artist, or even a not successful artist, who is an adult, who is quite proficient in their art, and chooses to create artwork that looks like it's in a childish manner, there's something so much deeper there than scribbling on a bag, or something your child could do. And I won't get into all that, that could be its own video, but it just always irks me a little when I hear that comment and things like that. There's so many things that irk me. I attribute to people just not thinking deeply enough about things, and that's something that bothers me as an educator, because I like to have information, like not about Balenciaga, but I generally like to know more about things and look more deeply into things, have deeper knowledge, especially if I'm going to state my opinion on something. So it bothers me when people just state their opinion and they're not educated on the subject they're talking about. But again, I also get why people would think it just looks like their child scribbled on their bag. Next is painting on bags. This is similar. I have no problem with people painting on bags. I think do whatever you want. If you want to paint on your own bag, if you want to scribble, if you want to have your child scribble on your bag, fine. If you want to have Louis Vuitton with some artist that they have hired to paint your stuff, go for it. If you want to find somebody on Instagram or on Etsy who paints bags, you want to send your bag off, go for it. I was going to paint one of my own bags. I since sold that bag because I had it for years and never painted on it, but I wouldn't be opposed to doing it. I think where people have a problem with bags that are painted on, and certainly where I do, because this particular topic is coming from me seeing on social media, whether it be YouTube or Facebook groups, people complaining about taking a perfectly good bag and ruining it by painting on it. Probably should have said that up front. Where I don't like it is when I think someone has done a really poor job with it. But that's just completely subjective and up to your opinion on your bag, my opinion on my bag. Good art to me as we just discovered, may not be good art to you, and vice versa. If you look at some of the Coach reloved bags, we've discussed this before, I think most of them are hideous, but maybe there's somebody out there that would love some of those. Some of those are painted on. I think they do a terrible job. I won't go into that. And number 8, there's been this trend, somebody help me out here how long this has been going on, of childish bags. And I have friends on YouTube here who love these bags. So let me say, maybe I should have said this way at the beginning of the video, but my opinions are my opinions. If you disagree with me, that's okay. And if you like some of the bags that I don't like, that's okay too. I'm not judging you, I'm telling you what I think about things that I would buy or wouldn't buy. You guys know I don't like backpacks on adults. That's because I associate backpacks with children, because I'm a teacher and I work with children who carry backpacks every day. So I choose not to carry a backpack. A lot of you also know I don't like cartoons on bags. Scribbling is one thing, a cartoon is an entirely different thing. I don't like Louis Vuitton's Vivian. I do like some of their other animations, but the ones that I think look more like illustrations than cartoons. I also don't like pastel bags and some of the like rainbow iridescent bags. To me, they look like things you would buy at Claire's. If you're not in the US, Claire's is this very cheap jewelry store for tween girls and other people, but that's their target audience. The first time I remember seeing a line of pastel bags in recent years was from Gucci. They released their Marmont collection in like a light pink, a light yellow, light blue, and light green, if I remember correctly. And they looked like Easter eggs, and they were spring designs. Maybe that's what they were inspired by. But that just makes me think of when I was little and I would dress up for Easter, a little dress with my little basket with lace on it, and I'd have the pastel Easter eggs. So just like the backpacks and me having a connotation with children, I have a connotation with pastels and children. So you see, this is me. This isn't me judging you. Like, if you don't have that connotation, you don't feel childish wearing those things or seeing them on other people, then what I'm saying has nothing to do with you. You do your own thing, enjoy life. Enjoy your backpacks and your pastel bags or your pastel backpacks. I can't do it. I see that stuff and I see adults trying to be children. Or like Coach just released another line of Disney bags. I can't do it. Why do adults wear bags with Disney characters? I just don't get it. But apparently a lot of adults like Disney, so good for them and good for Coach for profiting off of it. The way I interpret that, it's like adults missed out on something in childhood and they're trying to recapture that by buying these bags as adults, and it may even be subconscious, or there was something they really loved that they remember from childhood and now they can get this sort of adult version of it, which still gives them those nice childhood vibes where you had no responsibility, you didn't have bills to pay and stuff, but now you do, but you can afford not only your bills, but also an iridescent rainbow Chanel bag. I don't know. I just don't get it. But we're all different, and that's one of the things that makes the world somewhat of a beautiful place. Sometimes. So what do you think? What unpopular luxury opinions do you have? Or what opinions would you like to see me make a video on next and give you my take on those opinions? I didn't say that very efficiently, but you get the idea. Thank you so much to Meredith for inviting me to do this. And I believe she opened it up to anyone, so if you're watching my video or hers and you want to do something along these lines, feel free. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Hope to see you back here next time, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.